What's up, y'all? It's your boy Gremlin back at Clanime, where we talk, debate, and relate anything and everything anime. Today, you already know who it is. We talking to big boy himself. Check him out. Now, we ain't really talking about him. We actually talking about how Dragon Ball did not influence all of anime today. Let's get to it. Quick disclaimer, man. Dragon Ball is a dope show. I'm not trying to bash it by any means. Obviously, I'm rocking they swag and they drip. But, like, I just get tired of when people are like, oh, it's the best anime. And, like, if it wasn't for them, nobody else would even be around. And that's actually not how that worked. At all. It's dope. It's got a good concept. And yes, it might have influenced a few shows that are popular, and that's why everybody thinks that. But there is so much anime in the world for you to believe that started it all. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get to a few points, and we're just going to try to rock this out, bro. Okay, y'all. So I just really wanted to run it down, bro. So Dragon Ball is a dope series. It's based off of the storybook Journey to the West. And that's what Goku was named after. It started that way, and then they branched off with Z as of, he found his character as he grew with writing it. But it was not the first anime. It might have been the first one you've seen as a kid, not me. But if you look at the history, we actually, in America, we started with Astro Boy from 1963 to 1966. And then we further populated our anime background with Akira in 1988. And that is how we actually populated the anime community. And on top of that, we started getting shonen and all this other stuff, romance, everything else. So, no matter what, everything's based off of some backstory. And so I really just wanted to talk about, just because they're all based off of Journey to the West does not mean they're all based off of Dragon Ball. And I think that's where people get confused. So I will go back on the last statement just a little bit, because Akira came out in 1988. Dragon Ball actually came out in 1986, based off of the Journey to the West. But on top of that, it was still not the first one to be made based off of that show. Actually, the first show that was ever made of it was an anime. It was a musical, and that's why a lot of people didn't watch it here, because we wasn't really into musicals at that time. But it was Alakazam the Great, and it was based off of solely a musical of the Journey to the West. And that came out long before anything else. On top of that, man, you had Shinzo that came out in 2000. So, yes, that was a good 14 years after Dragon Ball. And then you had Monkey Typhoon that came out in 2001. And those were just the mangas. They got animated a year later. So, Shinzo would have been 2001. Monkey Typhoon would have been 2002. But if you read the mangas, they came out 14 years later after Dragon Ball, so I can see where that kind of confused a lot of people. But since it wasn't really like a shonen type of thing, nobody really... Actually, no, they did have features on Shonen Jump magazine. They did. But it was when they first populated, and a lot of people probably didn't see that. I actually saw Shinzo before I saw Dragon Ball. So, full disclaimer there, I loved Shinzo as a kid. And then I saw Dragon Ball, when I was staying up past curfew. And then I really didn't get into Dragon Ball until they remastered it, because I was a kid and I didn't really remember it. And when I saw the remaster, I was like, okay, I can get down with this. I don't know what it was, but like I remembered it, but I didn't remember the full story, because kids got short term, so it's like whatever. Also, when it comes down to the big three, man, we've got to get to this point. Because that's what everybody always argues, is it the big three would not be there if it wasn't for Dragon Ball. And that is also false. So, yes, it is stated by Kishimoto and Oda that they did draw influence. But Kishimoto only drawn influence for the protagonist. So, simply Goku himself, not the story, not anything else. Just the protagonist. He wanted Naruto to be similar to Goku. All's fair in love and war, right? Whatever. He admitted that. He said that. He never took anything else from that. He never tried to be better or worse than Dragon Ball. He had his own story, but he did take from Goku himself. And that was mainly just because of his dopiness and everything else. He did a full interview about it. Oda, for One Piece, he also stated that he read Dragon Ball, the manga, and that's what made him be inspired to write and draw manga. That's not saying that he took everything from it. Monkey D. Luffy is also based off of The Journey to the West. It's literally, you just gotta read it, man. You gotta read it. Okay, and Bleach, oh my God. Let's get to this, man. You gonna love this one. So Bleach, man, they actually stated that their main influence was, if you didn't notice, I'm actually gonna say it first, Saint Seiya. Saint Seiya was their first inspiration. But let's just run it down real quick, man. Bleach was definitely not inspired by Dragon Ball. Let's think about it, man. The main problem with Bleach is he's technically dead. He runs through the Soul Society and works with other Soul members to defeat the big bad. Then after that, let's just do a random arc for like 10 episodes of somebody that used to do his job turned bad. And then after that, let's go ahead and go to the demon world where there's like this huge war that's been going on forever. That's Yu Yu Hakusho. Without a doubt. Go back and watch Yu Yu Hakusho and tell me after you watch Bleach that I'll fight you for that. And by the way, they also admitted that Yu Yu Hakusho was their main influence. And if you couldn't tell by watching both back to back, side to side, bruh. Anyways, about Yu Yu Hakusho. Let's go ahead and get into their influence and why I think that that might be a big deal in this argument. So, like I said, yeah, Yu Yu Hakusho was, like, cool. You know, there was this big part when he was in the Dark Tournament and he finally broke loose. Yeah, he let it out. And anyways, before I get to the points of the Dark Tournament, there was that that shit. You know what I'm talking about. I actually thought that, you know, they straight up stole that from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And I actually went back and looked. That's actually like a battle cry that they use in their culture. So, like, I actually kind of understand it now. But I also thought that that was like an influential thing. It wasn't. But, y'all remember that little dude with the yo-yos? It was in Hunter x Hunter with my boy Killua. And I thought it was the dopest thing ever. And then I thought about it and I was like, wait a minute, man. I've seen this before. Now, they might have done it differently. You know, Killua just straight up assassinated people with that. Homeboy, I gotta look up his name. I put him on the screen. But you know who I'm talking about. He like wrapped the yo-yos. He actually used like 20 of them things. And he wrapped them up sent him to the sky and made him get electrocuted. Different spin on it, Hunter x Hunter actually came out a lot later. So yeah, I would say that they took it from him, but they made it better because Kahlua was dope in that aspect of like he just walked by him with some yo-yos, and I was like, oh, he about to just act like he's walking a park, walking a dog, with the But no, next thing you know, they turn into like lightning lasers, and he just like zip, and then he puts them back in his pocket and just keeps walking. So I ultimately think Hunter x Hunter did it better when it came to using electricity and yo-yos. As far as the other dude, he should have like used kites, I guess, because he like used his ability to lift the yo-yos up into the sky so that the thunderstorm could hit him. Y'all let me know your opinion on that one, man. Is that like too much of a reach, or like did they just see the yo-yo idea and be like, okay, we could do this, but better? I ultimately think Hunter x Hunter did it better, but since they came out after Yu Yu Hakusho, I can't really argue that point too much. So y'all let me know. Anyways, let's get on to my next point because I really want to get to this one too. Might be too much of a reach, but just bear with me. So y'all know Chainsaw Man, right? Right? Alright, better yet, you know Jujutsu Kaisen, right? Okay. Alright. Now it's getting juicy, man. Because I really just wanted to know y'all's opinion on this, man. Now, like I said, it might be a reach. I can reach. Their main goal is to hunt down these little artifacts type of things. One's a bullet, one's a finger, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. And they're hunting these things down to find the big bad and finally just end everything. Kind of sounds familiar, man. That sounds real familiar. I tell you what I'm talking about, man. I'm talking about my boy Inuyasha. Okay? Like I said, it might be too much of a reach, but hear me out, man. What's his main goal in that whole story, bro? He's getting artifacts. Shards, in a matter of fact. And can't nobody argue that Inuyasha did not come out first. So I don't know about the whole fighting aspects of it and where they pulled that from, because Inuyasha's fighting was kind of mediocre. And by that, I mean like it was like a maybe 5 to 10 minute, but it was mainly a love story. The rest of it, like the fighting was just there and it was done. The other ones, they definitely clapping some fighting in there. And they got hands. I ain't gonna lie about that. They be putting them up, man. But I can't deny the whole storyline of I'm looking for these artifacts. I gotta kill this demon to get what's inside of him, because it makes him stronger, by the way. Let's put that one into perspective too. I mean, in Inuyasha, these demons, the necklace shards actually make them stronger, and that's why they need this little half demon to ride with them. I mean, that's pretty much what it is. I mean, I know Jujutsu Kaisen, they don't technically like use the fingers to make them stronger, except for him, because that's where Sukuna is, and like he's, you know what I mean though. But Chainsaw Man for sure. The little bullets from Rifleman or Gun, you know who it is. He's the rifle demon or gun demon or whatever. He's definitely been infusing his bullets into people to make them stronger, and that was how that story went. So, I mean, yeah, like I said, it might be a reach, but it was still worth it. And also, real quick, Hunter x Hunter actually did say that even though they did pull out the fighting style of stuff, they wanted to be a standalone, as in, like, they would never repeat past highlights and stuff like that. So I just wanted to say that really quick before I get on to these next points, because a lot of people still think, even when I watched it, you know, I was just like, this reminds me of this show, and this reminds me of this show. So they did pull aspects from everything, but they don't do a lot of backflashes and stuff. And that was actually pretty dope, because I didn't have to watch the same thing 30,000 times just to get to the end of the episode. Also, I really just wanted to talk about Demon Slayer real quick. Just quick rundown, because I know they're also in the running for Anime of the Year against Jujutsu Kaisen. And, I mean, Chainsaw Man's up there too. I don't know if he's Anime of the Year nominee, but I mean, you can check out the other video for that. I did want to say, so Demon Slayer announced that their biggest inspirations was JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Naruto, and Bleach. So I didn't really hear any Dragon Ball Z for that one either. And, you know, that's pretty much it. I can see why they got Bleach because of the swords. It makes sense. Like, you're supposed to connect with your sword, so I can see the inspiration from Bleach. I didn't really see a lot of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but apparently that, like, the demons are supposed to be similar to the vampire. Oh, Muzan. Yeah, Muzan. I can see Muzan being inspirational from Dio. I didn't even think about that. But he's still technically a demon and not like a vampire. I know he bites people and, like, actually he can cut them with his nail and, like, turn them into a demon. So I don't know if that's like a reach or not. But I don't really think he's a demon. And then Naruto, I guess, is just... I mean, I can see that from the standpoint of everything. Like, he's this guy, and he's gonna become this guy. So, I mean, just a quick rundown of that. Still not Dragon Ball. Real quick, man, don't even let me get started on Attack on Titan, okay? They actually got their inspiration from, like, German cultures and, like, poetry and everything else. It even said that they got a little bit from Jurassic Park, you know, how they're all stuck in that one little area, and that's where they send all the... Makes sense. I don't know. I do know that the finale, that they paid homage to Neon Genesis Evangelion. But that's another topic. Obviously, Attack on Titan is a story on its own. I didn't even want to put that into this. But, just in case somebody asked. That's why. So, needless to say, man, I love Dragon Ball, love Dragon Ball Z, love Dragon Ball Super. But I do not believe that they were the inspiration of all anime. I feel like that's a misassumption that everybody has about it. Because everybody my age, that was probably the first thing they saw. And they just went from there. They never went back and actually saw all these other shows. They were just like, oh, that's fighting. They got that from Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball is mainly built off of fighting, man. Like, I mean, their fights are cool, you know. I just don't see. I mean, let me know what you guys think. You know, like, comment, share, subscribe. Give me some feedback, man. Like, what are your opinions on my opinion? You know, everybody's open to an opinion. I was just breaking it down with the facts that I know and why I don't believe this. That doesn't mean somebody couldn't change my mind with more facts, you know. Yeah, just let me know. Hit it up down there. You know all the buttons. You know which ones to press. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Peace.